What makes a Geometry Dash level bad? Is it bad gameplay, unoriginality, ugly decoration? Well, I had the genius idea to take everything that makes a level bad and put it all into one monstrosity of a level. In this video, I'll be building a fully decorated top 1 extreme demon with everything I can think of to make it the worst level in Geometry Dash, and I'll showcase it at the end of the video. From fixed hitboxes to pixel perfect clicks, all of my evilest ideas will be in this level, so let's get started with building this masterpiece. So you might be wondering, what will this level actually be about? Well, in order to get started, we're gonna be really original. Yes, here we are. Sonic Wave, my beloved. I think this is a really original and great idea. Actually, I have a really good idea for the beginning of the level. So I'm actually gonna be a nice person today, and we're gonna nerf the really hard click. Nobody likes this click. However, we kind of need to make up for that. I think one thing that everybody loves is whenever the first click of a level is impossible. And I'm not just gonna do the first click of a level. I'm gonna make there be an impossible double click at the beginning of the level. Alright, so let's record a macro. Now we're going to play that macro, and we're going to hug spikes around this precise hitbox. So I suffocated my hitbox chair with spikes and saws right on the edges of the pixels. This will not be the only time we do this little trick to make amazing clicks. I need to ensure the saw is as enjoyable as possible, but we're off to a fantastic start. We are going to be spending all this time on the first click. I'm gonna keep scooting this saw blade in until it kills the player, and there it kills the player, so now we move it back. Also, one thing that we must do, as y'all know, we really like red health themed levels in this community, so that is exactly what we're going to be doing right here. We need red. Alright, much better. Let's try this click without a macro. Even in 0.2 speed, I'm kind of having trouble passing this. A lot of trouble. Okay, there we go. I also decided it'd be a good idea to make the rest of this pre-drop free, so that once you get to the drop, it instantly gets super duper difficult, and believe me, I will have no mercy when I make the drop gameplay. I also tried to pass the first click for a while, but I just couldn't. Yeah, like that just happens. Even like anytime I slightly pass the first click, I just die to this next saw blade. Alright, another very important thing about this level is we're making this ultimate glow slot, because we know that's what everyone's favorite style of decoration is. Let's make some incredible saw decoration. Look at that little guy in there. Alright, I think we have our saw blade design, so of course we're gonna copy and paste it everywhere, because as we all know, everybody likes whenever you make decoration and then you copy and paste it everywhere. Put a little glob on the spike. I'm really just grabbing any objects right now. How do we decorate these orbs? Oh, I have an idea. What if we put this thing called a glow on them? Oh, I have an idea for these blocks. Let's kind of put some glow on them. Remember, I'm an art decorator, so I really don't know what I'm doing here. I'm really just figuring this deco style out as I go. Some parts will be very straining on the eyes and painful to look at. Okay, here's what we got so far. I like how those chains look, actually. Let's put some floating embers to match the hell vibe. Now we need to add some air deco and a background. Once again, really don't know what I'm doing here. Just placing random objects and going with it, and adding a few edgy texts. Alright, here's our little background here. Alright, let's do some copy and pasting. Alright, I think this first part, we got it down. I'll just leave some blocks undecorated for, you know, variety. Turn back. Clearly, this is the best decoration in the world already, and it's only gonna get better from here. Now it is time for the ship. Anyways, I decided to get bored, so I didn't end up building more on day 1, but got back to cooking on day 2. To start off, we're still gonna recycle the same spikes. I mean, come on, no one will ever notice, right? I'm also actually gonna nerf this ship part, because remember, we actually want this pre-drop to be free. Now I know what you might be thinking, how is this gonna be a silent top 0 if I keep nerfing it? Well, don't worry, we'll find ways to make up for this lost difficulty. All the way from blind transitions and fixed hitboxes, there are so many things we'll be able to do. Well, this is certainly block design. Alright, slap together some completely random objects to make this saw design. Now we begin to have quite a big issue. This part just looked atrocious. Like, yeah, I know it's a joke level, but I still want it to look somewhat decent. But yeah, I really don't know what I'm doing here. Alright, well, yeah, let's just move on to the ball. There's no saving this, honestly. Alright, yeah, we're gonna have this unnecessary lens circle here, just to obstruct your vision a little bit. Since the ball's one of the hardest parts in Sonic Wave, I of course nerfed it, because, you know, free pre-drop, and added a few deco objects, and kind of just got bored and peaced out for the day. Alright, we are working on this even more. Alright, well, what are we going to do for this saw? Okay, well, Here's a saw design. I don't know how I came up with this, but let's try putting some big chains in the foreground. All right, I made this little tree bush thingy. I don't know why. So yeah, if you couldn't tell, I was literally just placing anything at this point and deleting like 90% of the objects I placed down because they just didn't look good. So basically, I think it would be a cool idea if we added 2 like basically impossible clicks right before the drop. Also with one of those being blind. So basically, you'll never be able to actually get to the drop. Okay, yeah, that's a pretty nice difficulty. First, we need an edgy text here. Yes, look at these extreme demon faces here and how scary that is. And now there's one last very important thing. So we're going to make this amazing blind transition to the drop. It's just genius, isn't it? Well, now that we have our amazing pre-drop finished, it's time for the real fun to begin. The wave parts. There's a blind click pattern you'll have to do upon entering the drop immediately. We're going to be taking some inspiration from Zoink and adding some fixed hitboxes. I then recorded a very precise click pattern with a macro and hugged a bunch of spikes and saws around it to buff it. This won't be as hard as the ending will be, but this will probably be the second hardest part, so I made sure to make it quite difficult. Oh yes, look at these hitboxes. Oh, now look at this. Look at this buff. Alright, well this is unfortunately all I have time for today, and oh, actually made a click impossible. Yeah, these buffs are looking incredible, really fun, really good gameplay. Alright, we're here for, I believe, day 4. Alright, I'm just gonna take these big glows and place them around. And the level slowly turned into an absolute glow fest. Alright, now we got more glow and a bit of a background. And this process began to be an absolute mess. I placed objects and they looked horrible, so I placed other ones and just kept retrying and trying. And it was turning out to be pretty atrocious. So I made some of these little flashing saws, which I think look kind of cool actually. Copy and paste this pretty mediocre saw design around. Alright, I think this wave part's all set up. I think we checked off all the boxes. It's obnoxiously flashy, has some amazing sound effect usage. Now we just gotta keep buffing and building more of the wave. Anyways, that was about all I had time for on day 4. Alright, welcome to day, I don't even know. So let's add a few extra obstacles to add to the difficulty. I guess I could tell that this already is gonna be a great idea. Definitely need to fix these hitboxes here. Make this one a little bit larger. Oh, I think great idea to buff this little area. Alright, I made a very random click pattern of this duel. This is just turning out to be a monstrosity. Man, what am I doing with my life? Why am I actually spending hours of my time making a hell-themed top 1 Sonic Wave remake? Well, we're in too deep at this point, so there's no turning back. Yes, these buffs are... oh my god, dude. So I'm gonna is actually gonna make the iconic headbangers smaller and add plentiful of them. Remember that once the level is finished, I will be releasing it. So you, yes you, can verify it, because I know you want to verify this. Now, if you played Sonic Wave before, you would know about the infamous 48% Giat. It is the biggest choke point in Sonic Wave, and we're gonna make it much, much worse. Okay, let's see if it's still possible. It's actually not. Okay. I'm gonna do the same trick I did with the first click where I just make it literally as impossible as possible. Yes. Yes. However, that's actually a little bit too easy. So we'll balance out the difficulty a bit more by adding a little bit of this. Alright, well, we have a nice little choke point here. But then for some reason, when I went back a start position, even going the slowest speed, that click was just impossible now. Okay, for some reason, going back and recording this part, it's now impossible. This game's physics are just weird. So unfortunately, I had to nerf it a little to make it possible again. Then I just decorated the rest of this part with some amazing glow. Alright, well, this is... oh, this is looking like the worst level, I think. I mean, it's got everything. It's so flashy, it hurts your eyes. The glow is spammed, it's messy, it has choke points, especially this thing over here. I was even generous enough to make this a blind click to make it harder. Alright, well, that's all I'm gonna do for now. We're at a good stopping point. Okay, I was recording me buffing this part, but my computer just randomly ran into a problem and just completely shut off randomly, so I lost that recording. But here we are, continuing the level, adding some more incredible buffs. Like, I will definitely make the player go under these saw blades here. That'll be very nice. And got some nice invisible hitboxes going around. Once again, recycled all the old decoration just for the new part. Alright, I think we're about done with the first wave. This last part does not look good at all, but I'm not doing more on this. I don't feel like it. Now, I really have no idea what I'm gonna do with this cube, actually. So we're gonna have to get creative with this cube part. Alright, let's just record a macro here. So I think this part will have a bunch of free clicks mixed in with some really impossible clicks, and there'll just be like a bunch of setup-based timing, so it'll be super inconsistent. I'm gonna make you do a jump under there. there. It's pretty ironic how I just finished my gameplay improvement arc series, and now I'm building a level where I'm deliberately trying to make the worst gameplay possible, but that's just how it is. Alright, we got some W gameplay here. So I think for this part, I'll add a black hole, because every Sonic Wave remake has a black hole in it. So I put together a bunch of particle objects and a black circle in the middle. Let's bring back these spiky mountains from earlier. Alright, well this is about all we have time for today. I'll go finish up this cube part tomorrow, but not today. 7 days. I spent 7 days making a health-themed Sonic Wave remake. What am I doing? Now I gotta do some spike and block design. Okay, I just made this little block design here, and I will make sure to recycle it. And I also stole a few assets from the first cube, because, you know, efficiency. Alright, well, here's this part. I already spent too much time here, so I'm just gonna move on to the next thing. Alright, now, how should we buff these waves? Yeah, getting a verify for this might be slightly difficult. We'll have a nice invisible hitbox here. We'll fix this hitbox. Alright, now, here's the thing. Building this all took a lot longer than expected, and this video is getting way too long. So for building the worst level in GD, this will be it for part 1, but of course we are not done yet. We still must make the hardest ending in all of Geometry Dash and much more exciting plans for this level, so fear not, because Sonic Wave Deluxe will be a finished masterpiece. But as for now, this will be it for Sonic Wave Deluxe part 1. Enjoy the showcase of what we have so far. Despite this all being what it is, I still think this is helping me grow as a creator. Building in glow style, which I've never done before, is kind of forcing me to try and adapt to something new. And it's nice to practice with the joke level so I can make it look bad and it still be fine. But yes, we are finishing this. Making stupid stuff like this every so often is actually very fun. I have some more despicable ideas for this level that I really need to put to use. If you enjoyed this video, don't worry. I've got plenty other videos just like this and more coming soon. So you might want to consider hitting the subscribe button perchance. So yeah, thank you very much for watching. These videos take a very long time to make, so I really do appreciate anyone who sticks around for this long, and see you next time.